to Found Her Story, the podcast where women entrepreneurs share the real and raw sides of business ownership. Today, we're diving into a topic that every business owner knows too well, the slow season. And speaking of slow seasons, it's not slow for Natalie since she is not
Yep.
joining us today. Our
Empty
podcast
chair.
has actually inspired her to really dive deep back into DJing. So she's on a mountain doing some event.
Amazing.
Yeah, DJing something. I'm so
I love
proud of
that
her.
for her.
These weeks and months when the phones don't ring as often, emails quiets down, clients seem to vanish, it can get scary. At least
Yeah.
for me, it does.
Mm-hmm.
September has been probably one of our slowest months.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, last year was one of our busiest months. We're still busier than we were
Yeah.
last year, but it's definitely slowed down. And so you start to panic, question yourself, all the things.
Yeah. I feel like the year started off just in general a little rough. I mean, us being in LA with the fires was like, okay. And then new presidency, new kind of craziness and not knowing. And it's just trickled into this year. And obviously, like, we were talking seasonally, we do better.
Yep.
Certain months, coffee, marketing, jewelry, tattooing. And September wasn't terrible for me, but, I know when the holidays hit, like around Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's going to be slower because people are buying gifts for other people and all that. And I feel like I've been talking about, I really wanted to bring this up on the podcast because for me personally, I initially think of less and less work as a negative, which is a normal thing. And then I'm like, wait, maybe this is the universe telling me I need to slow down. Maybe I should be spending more time with my family. How can I adapt? Almost like when we had COVID, right? Where like no one could really work. It's like people started crafting and building a community and really spending time with their family. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to try and see this so much as a negative and try and spin it into a way of, okay, I'm going to, what have I been putting off?
Right.
What projects could I maybe start? That kind of thing. But yes, initially it's like very frustrating and scary, and we literally, our jobs rely on other people to come in and get our services.
Yeah, I have to revamp like marketing, like what can I do to bring them in, which is why in the month of October we have those pop-ups. We have the spooky market, the mystical market, where I'm trying to like bring families in together and also showcase other artists as well on my end to try and bring that community in.
People love a market.
They do love a market. And then in the month of December, we do pop-ups every Saturday and every Sunday so that people can shop in the community. So I'm like, it's good for the local artists and it's also good for me.
Yeah. I think for us in Burbank, it's been especially hard with the media industry. I still know so many people who are not back to work, hairstylists, makeup artists, actors, voiceover.
People closing their doors, their businesses. It's wild now.
That's what generated income in Burbank is being the media capital of the world. And so when there's no film, there's nobody buying, and especially in the Burbank businesses. And so it's been a really scary few years, and it still is. And it trickles down to the businesses, to the coffee shops where you cut out the fun things, right? We don't need to go buy coffee. We don't need tattoos. We don't need jewelry. Like, you start to see what people are spending their money on. Healthcare, food. Like groceries, doctor appointments.
Starbucks is going down.
Yeah, they're closing like over 100 places in LA.
They fired like 9,000 people.
Yeah. So, what do you do? And I always get into, especially, I will also work at the Colony Theater, and we'll have a show, and then that show ends, and then I'm like, now what do I do with my life? We're shut down. It's, we have a season. And I get to a point where I take on all of these things. I'm like, okay, I have nothing to do, so I'm going to start this project. I'm going to start this company. I'm going to do this collab. I'm going to volunteer here, and then it all starts together at the same time. Where I'm at right now is I'm so overwhelmed because everything that I've said yes to in my slow season has started now for my busy season.
You can do it, though.
I miss my slow season so bad.
But that's the other thing. You miss that
break
sometimes.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
hard.
Matt and I were just talking the other day, how when COVID happened, how like scary and how uncertain everything was. And I remember him telling me, he's like, you're going to look back, you're going to look back and be really thankful for that slow part. And I'm like, you're wrong. You don't understand. We don't know what the future is. And he's like, we need to be still. We need to be still. And so I'm going to take a little bit of the slow season as we do need to be still.
I agree with that. That was probably my favorite year ever, was the year of COVID. I know the world was crazy, but being home with my family, watching my boys grow up, they were at such a great age of doing crafts and art, and we just went out in nature every single day, and it was the nowhere to go, nowhere to be, but with each other. And
I had a baby during COVID.
you had a baby.
And honestly, if there was a time to have a baby, it was then. I was 6 months pregnant when everything shut down. And the fact that I got so much time with my child while the government was sending me a check was nice. Yeah. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And sometime with family was great. Sometime with family wasn't great. But, you know, you take it as it comes.
There were the lonely aspects, right? Not being able to see people and friends. But, and I think back about all the people that didn't have anyone to be home with, which is so heartbreaking. So, you know, but it does just help you reflect of like, in the end, all that matters is just being around the people you love and like being in that safe place of everyone under one roof at home. And I miss that a lot, especially having teenagers who are always out and about. And at night when we're all sleeping and we're all under one roof, it makes me like so happy, like the stillness and everyone home, you know?
Or like, especially if you have a life partner or a husband or a wife or whatever, just because you're having a slow season might not be the same way for your partner. So it's kind of nice to like keep each other balanced in a way. Obviously, when it's slow for both of you, it's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? But of course, you'll figure it out together.
Well, some really good ideas happen during the slow season as you are actually taking that moment to
think.
Chill and like it's not like go you can actually come up with some of your greatest marketing plans. How many businesses were started during slow seasons like COVID and all those things? Like so many businesses came to fruition because people actually had that moment to reflect.
For me personally, like in arts or tattooing, the industry's been in decline for some time, and I see other tattoo artists posting about this or really dropping their prices, and I'm like, no, not me, because I know that, one, I know my worth, and two, slow or decline or whatever, to me is always temporary. So you just have to keep going. If you need to take the time, I know another artist that just took 6 months off. Not because they had a kid, not because blah, blah, blah. They just needed it. And now they're like, I'm back. And, like, I got excited for them. So I just feel like if you need that time, take it. If you don't, but the time is given to you anyway because it's slow, try and manipulate it into something good and positive. Like, go see something new. Like, go to a museum. Try and get inspired. In a way that's obviously not going to cost you a bunch of money, because the idea is to make money. Or just talk to people. Like community, we've been talking about a lot. You know, I was talking to you about like doing a collab, and I'm like, oh, like I want to make more reels and like be out there more, but also like I don't know what to do. And you're like, here's 20, and I'm like,
she knows
you.
I'm always sending her stuff too.
I'm like, if you just sit and sulk and like feel bad for yourself, like that's what you're gonna get. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, for me, the slow season is, it is around the holidays, which is why I bring in like the markets that happen, and then January. Well, January also, I feel like this particular January that happened was, we just couldn't see. Like the fires just hit us so bad because no one was going out and no one was doing anything, and so. The cool thing is that Danielle and I have come up with like a marketing plan for what we want to do for January on what we could do this coming year, just to see what can bring people in.
That's a great.
So
you're already planning ahead. That's fantastic.
Just trying to plan on something that will make people be like, okay, maybe I'll come in even if it's on the weekend versus not the Monday through Friday type
Yeah.
of thing. So, and then maybe we'll try and take a little bit of a moment to rest.
Yeah.
And maybe, but we'll see. But, you know, you never know. Like maybe this January will be better than next one. But that's kind of what I'm trying to
Here's
do
hoping. Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
trying to plan collabs when things are
Yeah.
slower.
And I think it's also just like, you know, planning ahead financially. You know, for us, our seasons for movies, for my husband, they come throughout the year. And we know October, November, December, they're shutting down for the year.
Yeah.
So you make a lot in certain months and you have to save as much as you can on those
be
good
smart,
months
yeah.
because you know for 3 months you're going to have nothing. And so it feels so good when you're making all of this money in 1 month,
Yeah.
but you know that you have to let it, you have to spread it out.
Yeah, you
you
have
have
to
to
spread
save
being a
it out.
responsible adult.
You have to be a
It's hard.
responsible adult.
It's
terrible.
Adulting is terrible.
I hate it.
You're like, I could go on a cruise. I could go on a trip. You're like, no, I'm going to have
Yeah.
0 income in December, so I need this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say, yeah, after Pickwick for sure. I personally dreaded holiday season. That is when we were the absolute busiest. Like they already told us, like, hey, you ain't going anywhere in the month of December. Like you belong to us because we had holiday party almost almost every single day in the month of December when we were at our peak busyness. And then also January was really busy. Wasn't busy with events, which was kind of hard, but it was busy with that's when everybody got engaged and you were doing
Yeah.
all the tours and the walkthroughs and things like that. And I hated Christmas with passion because I was so busy. I never could spend time with my kids. If I wanted to take off Christmas Eve or the eve before Christmas Eve, I was just met with so much pushback. Like for whatever reason it was, there was no days off. And I also hated decorating Christmas trees because I had to decorate at least 8 of them at Pickwick. And so the idea of decorating my own just
Absolutely not.
I could not even fathom it.
Yeah.
So COVID brought for me like that peace and calmness where I could actually enjoy it. Like I was literally like the Grinch because I was like, I don't want to do Christmas. It's the worst. So I feel that I've softened a little bit to be more receptive to the holiday season, to enjoying it with my girls more and not being so, please don't make me decorate the Christmas tree. I mean,
Triggered.
I still don't like decorating it. I still make my mother-in-law come over because she does the best bows.
But that's okay.
Yeah, but now I'm not so against it, where it was like a trigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so scary when you don't have anything planned and it's slow and my brain just goes crazy and I'm like, I have to have something now, and I'll come up with like an ebook or a content calendar course and I'll think of anything and throw out in the universe and see what sticks. And that has been very helpful. Just kind of keeping those things in your back pocket. Like, okay, I know that when things get slow, I can always lead a workshop. I can always make a class. Or I can always do something. So that's been always really helpful. And I was also going to mention earlier that we even now, even when we're in a busy time or a slow time, we never take that time to pause and process. And I'm so guilty of that all the time too. The second I have a free moment, I'm scrolling on TikTok. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to look on Instagram. I'm going to do this. And we never let our brains rest and pause and reset and process the whole day. And that's when, like you said, like our best ideas come out when we are quiet and we can listen. And so for anyone listening, I think that's like a good takeaway is where in your day can you cut out the noise, cut out the distractions, and just listen to yourself and what your day has happened. And
It's like meditate or write something in your journal down, just even if you're just writing stupid things about like what happened during your day, and just reflect so that you can have that quiet moment just where you turn off the social media and the noise. Because it's so easy to just get locked into it. I mean, we call it doom scroll for a reason because we're like,
I'm like, this is research. This is research.
I think naturally, when you start your own business, that is a slow season and you're terrified because there's so much on the line and you're like, wait, okay, I just left maybe a secure job to do this myself. And then you're like, what if no one comes? And then they do come. They will come, as we've all experienced.
they do come.
Yeah. That can be just like a different version of slow or new,
Yeah.
different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of slow season or that worry is, can you adapt?
Yeah.
And will you? Some people are just like, I am set in my ways. I will say that's probably like the older generation
Mm-hmm.
of like, I remember the shop I worked at before I opened my own. I was like, you know what's really in right now is like people taking pictures like in a shop, and then you have, you know, like those angel wings that were all around the city.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Or like shops now have like a photo wall.
Yeah.
Where cafes have it, like all sorts of stuff. And I remember bringing that up and being like, this is a way we can get more people in. And the owner was like, that's stupid. And I'm like, well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there anymore, and I don't know what they're doing at that shop, but my shop, there is a wall where people always take a picture in front of, and it has my shop logo, and it's like, you know, when people walk in, they're like, I saw this online, and that like gets me excited, and it's so silly, and it's like small and whatever, but it's like that is so much of the world is online right now, and like, do you trust this? Do you trust that? And seeing like little things like that, and then I have people who are like, I've been following you for 5 years, and wow, the shop looks, you know, a little different than what you posted, but like in a good way, and it's like really fun. And I think, you know, my shop started as blank walls, and now it has adapted and has pictures everywhere. Like,
Beautiful.
if you get
So many
tattooed by me, you're going to
plants.
learn a lot about my family
Yeah.
and the people I care about and my favorite color and all that stuff. So, you know, all of that was changing and adapting and all sorts of stuff, and branding yourself.
Mm-hmm. And those are great things to do
Those are
during
all
your
good
slow
things.
season, right?
Yeah.
Slow seasons don't mean failure. They mean opportunity. They remind us to slow down, breathe, and think about the bigger picture. Fear and stress are natural, but when we shift our perspective, we can see the slow season as a season for growth. Thank you so much for listening to Founder Story. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend, leave us a review, join the conversation on Instagram at Found Her Story. Until then, next time, remember you're building something amazing even in the quiet seasons.